And we are live. We are live. Good afternoon. Good day, everybody. Hakia Me here. Thank you for tuning in to Consciousness and Capital Show. It's a beautiful day. Hope you're doing wonderful for this Saturday morning here. Special edition. We wanted to really kind of expand on some discussion that we had the other day. So I wanted to really just take the opportunity to thank my brother for joining me. I have my man, brother Ace, the Black Order podcast is to this discussion. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of tweaking some little things here, trying to get my picture up. So let me see how I do this. All right, well, that ain't how I do it, but let me just bring you up, brother. So we did a show talking about the King Randall discussion, but I saw that Dr. Umar is going to meet with King Randall.
Right.
So I wanted to, well, first, just many people may not necessarily know who, Dr. Umar Johnson actually is. So, for those, I don't know where, it's like hard not to know. I mean, from different places, but he has a tremendous amount of views and online interviews from Vlad and Breakfast Club and a few other interviews. So and
Yeah.
he's supposed to be building a school, but so what can you share with the listening audience what you know about first Dr. Umar Johnson for those that may not know my I mean most of my audience would know him, but
Yeah. Dr.
just
Umar.
open up. Hmm.
Well, we all know Dr. Umar from Hidden Colors. He's a scholar about the Frederick Douglass Academy. And, his scholarism is really on point on a lot of facts of like
Right.
strengthening community, family, the origins of history. So him building and didn't succeed what he didn't do or should do. At this time, it don't really matter because it's been time limited out. But King Randall is on and building a new school. They both have the same goal, the same mindset of building a community. It's going to be a more than one school anyway, regardless. But I guess if he's going to meet up with King Randall, that's going to be a good thing because I guess Umar can mentor him
Hmm.
and to helping him shape the reality that he wanted to get his school off the ground. That's how I look
Right.
at it. At the end of the day, we got to pull some positive out of it because regardless, 10 years we didn't get the school built from Umar for whatever reason. But speaking on the reason, if King Randall has accomplished something that Umar didn't, and like King Randall had a point that he got his idea and visionary from Umar, then that's a positive, you know. Um, But I guess all we can see is how time play out and how it goes into the situation and see what takes place from there. King Randall is someone who's in the community trying to build schools and be independent and trying to give a new perspective to youth and raising youth up or awareness.
Right. Yeah, no, so no, so instant. I got this piece, man. I'm gonna send you probably 2009, 2010, when I used to do major Kwanzas. Umar was the speaker at one of the Kwanzas that we used to do. This was around the time that I used to bring Ashwa Kwesi to the Baltimore area, Dr. Francis Crest Welsing.
Right.
Who else? I mean, we used to do the Malcolm X Day a weekend. Actually, it was both in Baltimore as well as Prince George's County. So, that was back when people were actually doing physical lectures, and it was actually at a school there. And I don't know if he was necessarily talking about the school back, how far. Well, I guess he probably was. I mean,
Right.
um, but no. So I mean, no. So I've been aware of his work, and actually we went to Philadelphia, where I actually we had the Nat Turner Day up in Philadelphia. So, I've sort of been around this,
Right.
conscious community for some time. But, the interesting thing I'm trying to, dissect and understand, you know, there's a saying called politics make strange bedfellows. And so they say that politics make strange bedfellows. So, you know, like it's really going to be interesting because if King Randall, who principally is, I don't know if you want to say he's conservative or, but generally speaking, he has affiliations with Europeans and other black folks who may not like be considered like militants or nationalists or revolutionaries or Pan Africanists. So the question becomes like, where does the synergy of what can be defined as education or what, and, I think generally, and I'll let you add on. I mean, my thing is, I've learned whatever you got to do sometimes to keep young people alive and free and have future economic opportunity, that's what we should do. So we should consider or keep an open mind to understand that not everybody may have the same right and exact type formula or mindset in terms of what is education. So if you can just add on in terms of what, for instance, foundationally, what should we be necessarily teaching young people, in these days and time, and you can speak on if I said anything else, you can just add
Yeah,
on.
well, foundationally, foundation Black Americans can bring a lot to the table. We're the creative, unique, un unlike like unstoppable momentum of ever seen on the planet because we invented a third or fourth of half the patents. So we are visionaries. We ain't afraid of nothing. We are stopped at no cost to make something happen. So bringing the school together, if that happens and they come together, then that would be awesome. I know King Randall have affiliations with other communities. That's very questionable. But I mean, all we can say is look at what people will do, not what they say. And I mean, like he said, he got his idea from Umar. Now, Umar has a lot of wisdom. Now, believe it or not, people get on him for the scamming or the finessing, but it's a gift and a curse. But beyond his years with wisdom and what he do know and what he knows, it's mad knowledge that he got. I can't, it's undisputed. But if that's going to be some change where they'll both go there to help each other, hey, I'm all for the positive. We just got to get something done because with all the knowledge and wisdom and understanding, the talking gets old. People want results, and the youth is wanting that right now. The youth want to go to a school that's based for them, people by them, and challenges. We just had a situation with a young man that was getting approached in South Carolina and harassed. So this is why it's important. These same guys that like that general sergeant that harassed the young man, most of the guys like him have that's married to wives that be the school teachers that's projecting that same racial hate in the classroom. So that's why it's important to have our own schools because we can't be subjected to, systematic racism or systematic toxic trauma because it's going to be in the class. We just had a teacher made a child clean up, waste or boo boo out the toilet with his bare hands. We just had a teacher who just told another child that he was a nigger. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep having this till we have our own schools. So the King Randall, if believe it or not, contrary, people say, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. But what are you doing? What school are you trying to create? And what are you trying to make? Because we understand that Umar Johnson has fumbled the football. Yeah. But guess what? It's 40 million of us, and we make 11 trillion in the industry. Why we don't have our own schools? That's my question. Why we keep
You said
making,
you
huh?
said 11 trillion. What's that? You mean
Well, 11
1.2,
trillion,
1 point?
11 trillion or 15 trillion, in money and spending, you
Oh, I
know.
thought that was like 1 point something trillion, but all right. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
what people say.
you got to think about. I put all the holidays together. Some people just put one holiday. I put
Okay.
church. I put church, Christmas. I put all them because we celebrate holidays to the fullest, and then we spend all the time. Um, and I know its numbers can be off, but we do the most with just always buying stuff. Just can't, putting habits of where habit is with it compared to other communities. We do the most, and I think we spend more than what the numbers really are. Because you got to look at the hair, you got to look at the hair hat industry. You got, you know, the hate going on with females, but they go to them same salons and hair nails places where that's like what, 6 billion. Then you got that. Then you got the church that's making a quarter of like all our money. Then you got the fast food joints that was person profile. All these places, man, that we has been disrespected by, jokers still be spending their money. So if you put all of them together, that's more than past what I just said in numbers. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
And even the HBCUs that we get disrespected by, or the schools that we
Mm,
so called claim to have us back.
yeah, yeah, no, that's deep. So, yeah, man,
Yeah,
no, it's just in what's going on in the Baltimore area. I mean, even for teachers, there was I just read a case where a child. This was at a I guess a Bryn Mawr school, like a special, mostly predominantly white, like one of those expensive, exclusive schools where
yeah,
the student, some little spoiled little child, probably more than likely Caucasian child, yes, I believe he was a Caucasian, told a black, I believe, female teacher, the child was like sticking glue on a board, on a desk or something, and um, she said, how you gonna get this up? And the child said, well, why don't you go and fetch me something? Told the adult black teacher that, and so what happened was the teacher didn't kind of left, or
right,
she left the school. So what happened right now was the little Caucasian children protested because they said that something about Black Lives Matter. So there's a big protest where a bunch of white students walked out because they like this black woman teacher, and they saying that this person was rude to her,
right,
but ultimately these some of these learned behaviors, this disrespect is shown even with police. And I wanted to kind of pivot into some of the things we've been seeing with law enforcement, because but I think that the education that children receive both in their homes, or not, if they don't receive any in their homes, are they receiving things in their schools to learn, like what how to deal with various
right,
situations. And so in some of these young little spoiled Caucasian children are learning this disrespect early in their life, and that their hostility is it's like repetitious. It's like becoming in their DNA to disrespect black people, from the beginning. So just add on to that,
right.
bro.
Yeah. Well, all disrespect starts from a young age if it's taught to you right in the way you communicate with people. Remember, 80% of what we deal with is all about communication. But when you taught hatred and toxic behavior, you're going to deflect it on other people and go around and perceive what you think they are because of a situation that you've been taught all your life. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that shit happens because you're taught it. And I remember, I'll never forget, man, when I lived in Hawaii, and this is what I thought it was the most hilarious thing when I was with the, hilarious roommates. I had one roommate, like, I'll never forget this, yo, but we had the most deepest dialogue. But everything is about thought and behavior and communication. And you don't never really know, like when you're put in situations, and I guess we can make that a topic, but I was in a room with a neo-Nazi from Seattle, and I was in a room with an NOI. I'll never forget. And I remember The hilarious part was we was in the middle of the water one day, piling a boat, and a goddamn shark came up on us. All that racism went out the door quick because he couldn't swim, but me and the dude from the Nation of Islam could swim. And he got and when it came down to it, I had made a joke. I said, I could let you, get eaten by the shark, but you know, they're gonna question us when we get back to the base. But the joke was when we got back, he was like, dude, hands down, I was racist because I ain't had no white dad. And so I just took a liking to hate black people because that's what I was taught from uncles and cousins. But at the end of the day, you and the Nation of Islam dude, you and that dude in the room, I respect y'all, and I apologize. And see that right there, even if it's apology of me because I didn't accept it. But the point is, what I'm saying is, there'll be situations that we're going in on pull up summer that's going to put a lot of people at ease where enough is enough, and bullying is a part of racism, and racism is a part of narcissism, sociopath, and a psychopath behavior, and it's pushed in our reality. Like the little guy who went in the mall and started shooting everybody up. See, all these things are going to happen, and people want to change the narrative and say it's not race, it's not about that. But if it wasn't, then we wouldn't be dealing with that. One group of people wouldn't just be targeted all the time. You know,
Mm.
and that's why we need them schools, because schools deal with, like, back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, thought, community, active thought. Because see, you with your own peers, and you don't have to have fear that someone's getting mistreated or abused. Or like the one little lady who had the daycare lady, they showed in South Carolina or somewhere where they was feeding the white kids but not the black kids, doing a little
Oh yeah,
psychological.
yeah, man. Talk
You
about
see,
that. So yeah, that was crazy. That
yeah.
was crazy,
And
man. I
this goes
mean,
on all the time because the camera shows this, how all the dark
wow.
skinned kids didn't have no food. And that happened a year ago. Remember, they had all the little dark skinned kids in the corner, and then all the white kids was drawing art, laughing,
Mm,
playing.
mm,
See, that psychological abuse is not needed
yes.
anymore. But like I told many of my friends in the South, that it will change once the anger come in a lot of us, that it's to the point where we don't give a fuck about feelings and forgiving. The problem
Mm,
is we ain't never made nobody else hurt. We just keep
mm,
taking a person bullying us. It's but
mm-hmm,
so much that you'll take, but we're bullying,
mm,
and hopefully, what I'm saying, pull up summer will initiate that, where enough is enough. Because a lot of times you can disarm stuff once you start pulling up people's houses and addresses and coming to their homes and just
mm-hmm.
checking their things. Trust me. Once you start doing that, all this will stop. All will get thrown out the door. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Well,
85.
and yeah, I mean, so what you talking about for those that may not know that the Sergeant Pendleton, or I'm sorry, I don't know if his name is Sergeant Pendleton, but he's in. Okay. A young man was walking through his neighborhood and he like pushed a young man, and he was like 20 years old,
Yeah,
something
he's
to
like a
yeah,
little
yeah,
nerd,
yeah,
like a little skateboard nerd guy.
yeah. But he was a smaller guy, and this guy's a military sergeant. I mean, and I don't, we don't know what
Can you imagine
happened.
what he does in the military to people? Can you imagine
Yeah.
the racial ranks that he gives to other, Caucasian officers over black officers who probably work as twice as hard? So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, is the army gonna reprimand him? I wonder, is he gonna lose his job in the army and his pension? I wonder, is he gonna get in trouble for that?
Well, apparently he's been suspended, from that. Now, some people were saying that he should get a dishonorable discharge. I mean,
Yeah,
my understanding, for instance, like, and now I'm just speaking general because I was in the military. But what happens, even when people get in fights, a general like serious fight, like
right.
generally they won't get discharged. They might get like what's called restriction. It could
Right.
end up being reduction in rank. or they'll have to pay like half their month's salary for 30 days or
Right.
something like that. I mean, just based upon the nature of the crime, now if he would have beat him down or something,
Right.
I mean, but it's an inappropriate touch. I mean, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
it's like what is the
It was a
third?
bully energy. It was a bully
Yeah,
energy.
I
Retarded.
think he was charged. So the military don't play with that. The fact that he was charged, I think it's like a third third degree assault or
Right.
something, or simple assault or something. They said. So I mean, but just understanding what I know about discharges. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do something like horrible to get a dishonorable discharge. I mean, what
Oh,
they'll
of course,
do,
of course.
yeah, what you know what I'm saying? You dishonorable. I mean, now you gonna get. I mean, more than likely, I mean, you still would get an honorable discharge. He could still get an honorable discharge, but I don't think that him he would get kicked out like totally of
Right,
the military. He could,
right, right.
I mean, depending on how many years he has, but
And his wife should get in trouble too for instigating shit. You know what I'm saying? His wife was instigating. You
well,
know.
I mean, like, I can't. I mean, who gonna charge her? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like nobody can hold her accountable. I mean, it's like she
No.
didn't
But you know, if that
do
was the other way
anything.
around, that would have played out where both parties in the black community would have got charged or would have got in trouble.
Well, I mean, no. I'm wondering, like, well, what you gonna charge somebody for? Like, can you? Unless she say hit him or kill him? And I was
Nah,
interested.
but she was just hyping him up, getting him already hyped than what he was,
Somebody
and
just
that,
said, "Go ahead."
huh?
Somebody just go ahead. Go ahead. Add on. Somebody just said the wife should be charged, and I'm like, with what? Like assault too? Just because she there? I mean, I do know cases that people do get charges because they there.
I mean,
With
women can
yeah.
hype men up to fight. That shit could have been de-escalated with her saying, "Honey, just leave him alone. He probably lives around here. It's really no, I'm serious." But she kept saying, "Well, you can walk him home. You can do this, and he better." And he was like, "You gonna leave my wife alone?" And so, what I'm saying
Right.
is because of the white man protecting his white woman, understanding that's just a natural defense that they already been having. But she was escalating that attention to create that energy there. That didn't have to be there, so she should be charged too because majority of black men since the beginning of time has been killed over white women. She was trying to get him to hurt that young man. And I don't put nothing past it. If we look at it the right way, that's how Emmett Till was murdered. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right. Yeah, for
being
sure.
instigated.
For sure.
And
No,
then
good
I
point.
believe he should be discharged because it was a black woman who was twerking in Kuwait, making her cheeks shake.
Mm.
She got dishonorable discharge from listening to, what I'm saying, Young Dolphin.
You
So I'm
said a
saying
dishonorable discharge for real? Man,
yeah,
I
they
gotta
gave her
see that story.
honorable
No, that's
yeah.
interesting.
She gave her honorable discharge and everything for just twerking to the daggone Young Dolphin where it didn't make no sense. It went to higher ups. So why can't he get discharged for embarrassing an army
Wow, that's
and
interesting. Yeah.
and
Well,
creating division, conflict in communities as a sergeant when he knows that's not the appropriate behavior. Because when they deal with us, it's always like a representation of behavior. Well, you know that you're a sergeant and you work for the army and you represent character and good conduct. And they always use the word good morals as a Christian, country. So it's like, well, okay, well, he just came and displayed bad leadership and poor
mm,
leadership and value and morals and disrespect because he just punked a young man just going for a walk in a neighborhood that he had no knowledge of. And he just went to 1 to 20 like he Dragon Ball Z when he should
yeah,
have just been like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He ain't bothering nobody and wouldn't mind his business. He didn't do that. Then when everybody
yeah,
pulled up, he didn't want to come out his house. He packed his clothes up late at night. And then
right.
he went and put his stuff in the bags, trying to get out. So he can't say now he don't want the title because I know they're gonna come out with something. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a racist because I'm in the army. I give black guys help in the army because I'm pretty sure they're
Mm,
gonna come up with some little title eventually where he gonna get somewhere far out and try to rearrange that, or they're gonna try to retalk that or
yeah,
scrub the internet with some positive shit that he has done.
that's interesting.
But
Yeah,
the image is already there. It's already created.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And truthfully, I'm like the South Carolina cats. All that talking and pulling up at the house, you know, no, I would have
Mm,
dragged his ass up out the car, out the house. Like all that you doing it to him, do it to me. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I wish I was did because all my folks is in South Carolina, so I can relate. But South Carolina has that very bad in certain neighborhoods. If you walking around and doing all of that, it will create that energy. And see, right now we are in Rehoboth in the Turner Diaries. That's something that we need to bring up. That
Mm,
April, March, and May
mm,
is satanic white supremacist rituals. So we're
mm,
going to see more mass shootings and more mass behavior,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
what you call racial terrorism. You know what I'm saying? And it's agreeable white people knowing it because they're even calling it out, saying, "Hey, look, this is racism right here. This is kind of like this is what it is." It's not enough for them, but they know because they know and they see
Wow.
it. As far as like when we see the little young guy who went to shot up all the people yesterday, come on, man, this been going on for years. The same months, March, April, and May. Yeah.
Yeah. No, let me chime in here. Interesting that you mentioned the Turner Diaries, man. I got a YouTube video, and white. I did a. This was probably 3 years ago, and every once in a while, like some Caucasians come on there and say something crazy. But I
Of
discussed the
course.
Turner Diaries. I mean, and there was my speculation at that time, but with it was two female. I don't know if they were federal judges, but some judges that got killed, and two female judges, and I just thought that it was like the Turner Diaries, and so I kind of put that in the title, but I kind of gave a brief overview of the Turner Diaries, and what you
Right.
said, the racial holy war, Rahowa. That's their little scream that they say, Rahowa. But interesting that you mentioned it, and I'm gonna get to one of the posters here. That April the 20th is Hitler's birthday, so that's in 3 days. So and they do things around that day. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and just recently they had this White Lives Matter rally few days ago. So we just have to understand that.
Right.
But I just one of the users. I can't see people's names on here, but I posted it up there. They said that they should be charged with conspiracy, and they went, and I appreciate this doing that. They went and got the perhaps the dictionary definition: an agreement between two or more people to commit an illegal act, along with an intent to achieve the agreement's goal. Most U.S. jurisdictions also require an overt act toward furthering the agreement. And then they said, hold up, she was the getaway driver. So yeah, okay. I mean, so yeah, I could see. I mean, so and that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like look at it. Like I give you this example because what I think I saw some black lawyer. What case was she talking about? Damn. No, she was talking about the taser situation. And she was saying that the case would be hard to prove.
Right.
And I don't, what I'm saying, and it make me just want to get deeper into understand, the difference between the juries and how the whole jury selection process go down as well when
Right.
they do these things. So, but I'll begin to close, brother, and because I got to get on this Zoom. We
Cool.
got this we got this
And
youth panel.
of course, definitely do that, bro. I won't hold you up. And you know what's crazy too?
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Scott, who killed the 8 people in Indiana, allegedly, they scrubbed the internet of him. That's why I think that's very interesting that he is non-existent on the internet.
Who's that?
The guy who went and did the mass killing, in Indiana.
Oh,
They,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you heard about it, but he killed at least 8 people and wounded 5 others at 11 p.m. Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
So you see that right there, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, 3 days away. But see, like they changed the signs this year. Cause if you notice too, you know what I'm saying, when we see the alt right member, head leader, he's been quiet. Like some of these dudes they went quiet. They went under, what I'm saying, silence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we gotta
Yeah.
know that where it's more dangerous now because Richard Spencer and them, you don't hit them nowhere no more right now.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
that's the
right.
more dangerous racist person.
Yeah, 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 man.
When
So,
they was
all right,
all
my brother. So,
yeah.
go ahead. No, so I
No, bro,
appreciate it.
I know
So
you got
we
to go,
can
bro.
we can do some more. We definitely can do some more maybe tonight or tomorrow for sure. So
Cool.
let's we got some few things we definitely need to discuss. But I know we started talking about this Umar and King Randall thing. So but I'll dig more into that. I just saw that somehow they supposed to be meeting. So I just wanted to initially touch bases with that down. And I got this Harriet Tubman Day thing as well. It's a tour, so I forgot that they changed the times. But I'm gonna make
Oh,
some
that's
things
what's up.
happen today, brother, and I'm heading
Let
to
me know when y'all do
DC.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I thank everybody. I thank the commenter for adding that analysis, and yeah, I mean it's deep that to wonder, like if someone is a bystander, what's their duty to stop or to look like they trying to stop and that's where you got to watch. Honestly, let me just. This is a message for men
That's cool.
in general. Because a woman, a woman can get you hemmed up. Just you trying to be masculine and trying to look tough or something like that. When the situation make cause for communication, not just trying to, like push somebody or, trying to use your, so now this fool about to, lose everything just because he had a hot head and a sense of power and control. And he did things on video. So he's stupid too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the common sense to say, all right, let me try to have a cool head. A video is absolutely playing. So he wasn't like a very, he didn't have good emotional intelligence to
Right.
know like what do I have to lose by acting aggressively. So now it's like there's a price to pay for being stupid. You know what I'm saying? And
All
and
day.
and feeling like you can go around and push people. So
Yeah.
yeah, but thanks for adding on to that discussion. You got me thinking. I appreciate the commenter for adding on. So let's build later, my brother. Thank you for your
All right,
time, my
man.
brother. Let's
Peace,
build
bro.
Black Order Podcast. Thank you for joining me this evening. Haki
That's
Yami, the
what's up.
Success Scholar. All right, we out. Peace.
Wow. Peace.